the speed of light, ostracize, long neck, go forth. They talking about one finger of the fourth finger or go forth. To be behind, third, in front of fifth, runner up. So you're after something. So the completion of something. Completion of something. So I'm thinking. Now, nothing for nothing. Every thought has its own relationship, its own pattern, its own twist. In order for two things to come together, they have to be different. Two things that are the same, just the same. We now have to give it a special name. Let's call it glue or magnetism, where every shimmer vibrates so heavily that these two items will actually now stick together as one, where it'll separate the male and the female until it comes together and it locks in. All these, let's say these were all little dots and bubbles, and all these were dots and bubbles, and they vibrate at a different vibration, breaking through to the other side because they're all connected together. These two are all, this set here is all connected together, and this one here, they're not the same. And how do they transmit into each other if they're not the same? So they transfer onto the other side like that. They pass through this. You see it's empty here, but really there's an energy here. So it passes through this energy. And then it locks in. And when it locks in, right, it's not locking in the thumbs and it's not locking in the fingers. So you're actually locking in 3 and 3. And then you'd end up creating this. And inside the house, cross my heart. So if I take away that finger, you can almost see what that is. But with that finger, right, that fourth finger of Mars, the 9th finger of birth, and on the other side, it's not doing the same thing. You see the shape on that side and the shape on that side. One is crossed over. So when you look through the other shape, so you're looking through the other shape, if you can actually see properly, let me move that finger down just a little bit, right? You can see the passage on the other side. This one is an empty. If you look at it that way, you can see that finger on the other side. So cross my heart. So be coming from the V and the A. What has happened with my fingers? I'm really like bewildered on how things still work, how they come together like water and flour. The water doesn't become the flour, just the molecules of the water of the flour separate much more with the water or in the yeast, giving the area space of the void or of the energy of what you don't see, AEX. Draw over each other. We have the process of what was once just as it was, a dot and a dash, created the skeleton. The dot and a dash created the skeleton. What is the difference between a dot and a dash? If I take a dot and I flatten it out, it's a flat hamburger. And then I slice it up this way, they would all be dashes. But as the original form, the dot, right? What if, and how can I put something in a square pan, make it turn around, and be able to mix everything without missing against the rim? It's got to be round. So how things are and what things that are, what they can do. It's hard to explain and it's hard to understand matter and energy. And I pick it up, it's matter because I can touch it. That's the way I look at it. And then the energy is what is this magical stuff that we're breathing right now. I still can't get it. Those people from the 60s, the peace and love, I can see it. I can see it, who they are. I'm not them. I want to be them. All of them. They can actually touch their frequencies. When they can actually see things and understand things, that is their realm. Peace and love, 1960s. Now, the thing is with 1960s, we also have to know that if I go back in time to 2016, is it 2016? No, it's got to be 2006. You see this over here? 2006. So we're going to go to 2006 over here. And I'm going to go, what is it? The month of February 28th, 28th day of the month, the 4th 7, February 28th. And if I take my camera off and show you that, oh, that's, yes, February 2006, the 28th day. Now we're the same day. We're a Tuesday. So I'm going to go back to this day now. And look, the same thing. So that means what that tells me is an equation 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. The 18th year repeats. The first and the 18th year, okay, repeat. So when it repeats, year pizza, I put that repeat. So when they, because it finishes with an R and starts with an R. So when they repeat at 1 and 18, and the roulette table, okay, also goes to number 18, and half of a circle is 180 degrees, where 3 times 6 equals, or 3 times 60 is 180, and 3 plus 60, or 30 plus 60, this is a different realm. Let me, it's 3 times 60, and then hold on it then, and then it's 30 plus 60 equals to 90. The actual calculation is 3 by 6, 18. 3 plus 6 equals to 9. And I and R is the end of the first section of the alphabet, A through R. And then it goes RS. Sorry, S. Then my mistake. And then it goes all the way to T and then all the way to Z. So, I mean, it almost says arrest, you know. Area space for the angel Ra. So let me just make this neater. I like to make this neater. I get all excited. Sorry for that. A all the way to R equals to 171. And then S all the way to Z equals to 180. Maybe the 9 birth is missing. And when we get to the halfway point of what I is, it is 45. And then we add on 136. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where do I get that from? When you add up 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9, okay, this one over here equals to 24. This one equals to 15. This one equals to 6. The letter F, the letter O, the letter X. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. In the second part of the alphabet, the Z, okay, is actually 8, and this is 1. In this part of the alphabet, it is 1, and it is 9. The cubic world runs in 8. It runs in Chaldean. Okay, this cube over here, where 1 and 8 come together. Where 1 and 8 come together. Just 1 second. I'm trying to find my camera. Okay, so we end up with this. So the other side of the alphabet is here. So when you say, hey, On the telephone, I begin ABC. Well, of course, you're starting by Z. Z is the end, the second part of the alphabet. And I get all my regulations not only from there, I get them from the keyboard, the setup of the keyboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's 16. And then over here's 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A, B, C, D equals to 10. A through F is 6, and 1 equals to 7. But here's our birth in this row over here. Yeah, here is one part of, I have the carpet down softer for the feet. You can't see the whole floor. It goes all the way down to the other end. We can maybe see it on the screen for just a second. I just don't want to lose my place because, yes, the minute I think of something different, I'm down the road and I completely forgot about everything till you remind me. So over here, and there's even more. I've created new pieces. I'm going to probably put them up. I'm going to take a look and put them up in a minute. If you take a look at the one on the where my mouse is, first of all, the picture's upside down for me because the Y area here is Z. Is 36. And this one over here is 34, 9 and 7. And you will notice, okay, anyways, I'm not going to tell you about the numbers. You can see the hexagons over here. They turn into the cube by adding a Y, dividing it up into 3. So you divided the 6 up into 3. So what about 7, 8, 9? Well, what about all the empty space? What size is this area? The phone, the keyboard, calculator, the ATM all show us a 9 face. There's a 4 face and a 9 face and 1 dot. 1 dot meaning what is the area space of 1 dot? How do you question what the area space of a single dot is? The average of this counting all the way to the end is 9 areas. The completion, counting it all in one, is 10, counting the borderline as 10. What is not like on the inside is the outside, but it's all that is on the outside is around what is the one on the inside. So this side or this side, it's still part of the circle of the extremity. And then there's the connections inside. In here, you see it in square, but you go from corner down to the center of this. All the corners go to the center. They don't go through. There's a spindle in here. That's how it turns. You have to go back to when you're a little kid, take things apart and learn how they're built. That's what I do with the alphabet. I take it apart. I take things apart and I see them for the possibilities because I don't want to get into this. Let's finish off with the telephone. So if you go to the ATM, they have the Z and they have the Q. Let me mark this down so we can follow each other. First, let me finish with the alphabet. Since the alphabet finishes on ZH, which it is 26 letter, 2 plus 6 equals to 8, in which the understanding that there are 9 areas on a side, and even if you go to the ATM and the telephone, in which the 7 and 9 support 4 letters each, which is 108. Sorry, not 108. Yeah, 108. 108. All the other letters, okay, support 81. So it's 3 by 27 equals to 81, and it's 4 by 27 equals to 108. 1881. 3 by 6, 3 plus 6 equals to 1881, or 18 and 81, 99. This creates the letter I and R for the first part of the alphabet. The second part of the alphabet is now 1 and 8. So this is 1 for one area space, 8 that's around it. So let's see what the math does. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 equals 32. 3 plus 2 equals to 5. This one still equals to 4. What is the difference between 8 and 5? 8 minus 5 equals to 3. 4 minus 1 equals to 3. Their movement is perfect. Let's try a new number. 1, 2, 3 equals to 3. 1, 2, 3. Add them up. Equals to 24. 2 plus 4 equals to 6. 3 and 6. We see where 3 and 6 comes from now, right? 3 and 6. So what happens between 8 minus 6 equals to 2 and 3 minus 1 equals to 2? What about if we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Well, that'll equal to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? That'll equal to 56. 5 and 6, 11. 1 and 1 is 2. So it would now be 7 and 2. Since being 7 and 2 and 7 being the gateway to bait, right, which is right here. We're going to do that one next, 2 and 5. 2 dot, the 5 void, to the 1 dot, and the 8 void. And what happens over here? I got 2. So what happened? 2 minus 8 equals to 6. 7 minus 1 equals to 6. So they all work out. So the mathematics of the cube and what's going on in the alphabet all works out. It even works out, and this is going to end up to be in Mars. The gate is in Mars. The first 18, the Third Reich is in Mars. 3 by 17 is 51, and that's Mars. The Third Reich is in Mars. The next one is the house planet, 68. 3 by 17, 4 by 17 is 68, the mirror planet. There's a big difference between 3 and 4. There's a huge understanding to know what DC, why red and blue, why the elephant and the mule. They all tell a story. So we're going to go back to the telephone. We're going to finish with this. ABC ends up starting at 2, 3, and 4. Our vibration goes up to I, but starting in the B house, the house of 666. The difference between above and below 666. What are the other sixes that I want to talk about besides our vibration of 2, 3, 4, 6, 6, 6 equals to a 90-degree angle? The bowling piece we did yesterday, I'm not sure if it's on here or it's over here, in where when you get to the third box in bowling in 10 pin, right, and we have 90, it's 4 by 90 for 360. We're talking about going around and around, understanding what the circles are, how they meet, how they match, what's going on, what are these. We all live in these ponds, some kind of ponds, and it goes deep inside of how we are made. So anyways, in bowling, by the fourth frame, okay, it's 3 times 120. And in the third frame, it's 4 by 90. Those are your scores. I have to relate everything to something. Now, when you take this calculator out or this cube out, the 3 is the complete opposite of the 4. It's 180 degrees. Remember 18, 180? 180. Every other move to the next number, 1, 2, 3, are 90-degree moves. Only when you go from 3 to 4 is it 180 degrees. Because anything more than 180 degrees, you start to come home again. So it's 181 where everything begins. And the number 81 is also very special because in French, not only do they say 4 times 20 equals to 80, okay, but they integrate 21 into number 81. As when you say 31 or 41 or 51 or 61 or 21, because there's only 5 of these. 31st, 41st, 51st, 61st, 21st. But when you go to French, okay, when you go to French, here you say 31, 41, 51, 61, 21. You don't go 21, 60, 60. You can't say it. But you can say it when it comes to 81. It's 80, 81. It's one word. These have an interruption of these letters in between 5 and 20. the 5th letter and the 20th letter, or G7 and V22. You can almost say like, let's go to life, get vet. So where was I? Yes, the telephone, the 2 dot, the 5 dot, the telephone. So we understand this works. So let's try the 2 and the 5. So if we go, let's say 2, 2, 2 and 5, 5, 5, this equals to 15. 1 plus 5 equals to 6, and this will equal to 6. So what happens? We started with 2, so we'll take off the original 2, we'll go 4. We'll take off the original 5, we'll go 1 over here. So what is the difference? Did I do that right? Oh, excuse me. I did opposites here. We want to do it 7, 7, 7 equals to 21. 2 and 1 equals to 3. 7 minus 3 equals 4. 4 and 4. What I was doing, okay, is here's 9 areas. Can we understand it as 9 areas? Each individual area. Let's not look any deeper into it because there's more of a story. We're just going to go nine areas. So when we go to the 2 dice over here, there's 7 areas. You're going to use these 2 dots, break this up, use this one and this one, the 7 areas with the 1 spirit connected. So when we do that, we have 2 and 7, 2 dot 7 void. So when your 7 and 8 come together, or added 1 through 12 equals to 78, which is the bat. That's the bats lady for the bats mitzvah, right? You bar the 66, and the 66 expresses woman freedom. And you replace it with the I-80. They did this in the highway system. 78 is also 87 for October, or 78. It's also not the queen, but when you add 1 through 12, October, something to do with 78, October, wow, something to do with a woman and the month of October, because October equals to 78. Oh, yes, and back to Mars 17, because that number is created by 1 times 7, 1 plus 7 equals to 8 equals to 7. The total is 15 and 56. And this is the one, I mean, I can use this as 11 and 15. The K and the N come together, 11 and 15. Boy, it's just gets so big. White wolf, flow. I like to say Yoelev, the student of Earth and Mars, because of what is going on in the game of craps. It will now create KO, like the knockout. This will equal to 6 and 2, which is now into the game. The card, even the queen. Its invert explanation to what it is equals to 88, and that's our passing gate to the heavens. I like to use 8, whatever 8 is, because the mathematics in this one is what's going to create 64 equals to 1, and 16 equals to 7, and the total comes 88 into 8. Now, not only that, but it now creates 17 from where does Mars come now? 17, 17, 17 in creation, 1771 is also 88. 8 and 8 is 16, 1 and 6 is 7. They come through what they created as the Mars gate. The division between day and night, red and blue, hot and cold. 34, 43, 77, which is matter in Christ, which brings on mass. 33, which is rotation of the sun. Where does this information come from? Ask me, I'll tell you. It's free to everybody. It always has been. I don't understand why I'm not getting my comments. Okay, no comments. There it is, the information. There it is, the information. There it is, the information. And look at that. And now I say, where can I find that information? I think the bowling alley. They set the pins up this way. Or maybe the circles are bigger. Are the pins exactly like this, or they're pins separated? Is there an area space between each pin? Because if there is, you can call these that they can be running on each other, but the area space is the energy that brings them together. Imagine if you had a huge wind in between all the pins, all pushing equally, and the ball comes down the lane and it hits a pin and only one pin falls. One of the pins on the outside, because it didn't hit it faster than the energy. You see, in bowling, we don't knock all the pins down because we're not letting them, A, hit each other perfectly. They're not in a closed area that they all must fall if you hit them hard enough. I need to get something to drink. Just give me a minute. You don't want? She doesn't want. Okay, so where are we going to go back to? So now we're going to finish off to say that these cubes, their voided area, tell the same story mathematically. So I have to say that this is the story. This is that truth. And these numbers I tell you about, queen number 62, card number 26, it comes from the base alphabet of A through Z. And when you flip A through Z over again and you start back at Z, the telephone seems to do that. And the phone and the numbers from where they are on this calculator over here, right, to where they are on the phone over here. See the way they're inverted? Almost like they flipped over the alphabet and then turned it this way. And then they connected it together. So the empty space on the one, there's no letters on the phone. But on the ATM, by chance, go to the ATM and lo and behold, the Q that is on number 7, number 17, that's equating to Mars. 1 and 7 equals to 8 for 1771, equaling to 88. And 1 times 7, 1 plus 7 will equal 7 and 8. G and H coming together to sound like F. And 7 and 8 is 15, equaling to letter O. And 1 and 5 equals to 6 is the F. So we have of, we have fox, we have love, we have 666. We have 216, 6 by 6 by 6, 216, 2160. If you use a decimal, same diameter as the moon. Same diameter as the moon. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. That's the complete alphabet. 1 through 8 is the second part of the alphabet that finishes the first part of the alphabet at 9. See, the first part of the alphabet goes 1 through 9. The second goes 1 through 8, because 18, 1 through 18. 1 and 8 is 9. And then it goes to the last part of the alphabet, 1 and 8. So it's 1, 1, 8, 1, 8, 1. So it's always talking about 8 and 1, 8 and 1, 1881, 1881, 99, Jupiter 13, area space for man. Man on the moon, of course, because that's what the story is. Man on the moon. 2 reverse 5. 2 having the 7 void. 5 and 7 equals to the moon. 19, 19, 19. 1 through 9, AI. Al is on the moon. Moon in LA. Made in LA. So now we're going to go to we're going to just show you this. So when you go to the telephone or the ATM, you see, first we have these 7 and the 9, you know, like how about 977 Shom FM, right? This is the birth of Christ, the matter. So on this one, we have PQRS equaling to, what was it? 70. I know at the end it becomes 53. Okay, it's 70. And over here, we have W, X, Y, Z. And there's a separation between here and here. In the ninth house is a separation. W and X, there's a separation because W and C, sorry, that's wrong. I don't like to write messy. I'm writing messy. W shows not good. W and D equals to 27 as the 23rd and the fourth letter equal to 27 as 2 and 3 is 5 and 4 equals to 9 and 6 and 4 equals to 10. So where comes from what is 19 is the understanding of this equation. I'll explain it soon. Not only that, if everything is 360, and again, 3 by 6, 3 plus 6 is 18 and 9 equals 27. So for what reason do we use 36 or 360 degrees? And over here, it's a total of 98. Here you're taking away 17. Here you're taking away 26. And now you're left with 22, the house of Bate. And in this equation, 5 times 3, 15. 5 plus 3 equals to 8. 7 times 2 equals to 14. 7 plus 2 equals to 9, equals to 23, equals to 23. So now we're going to leave these together, and we're going to take a look at these two letters, 2 to the power of 3, 3 to the power of 2. Even in horse racing, on the thoroughbreds, one is white, the other is blue, and on the harness one, the other one is white, and the other one is blue. They invert. Your 8 and 9 is your H and I. This is your BC. This is your RAM that comes in. It finishes off with AI and creates Mars. So here's your H, and here is your I. This one is 23, and this one is 32. So your birth is in Mars, and your heavens, your birth is in Mars. I like to look at it. Actually, it says Earth over here, right? Here would be Venus, but it's double Venus. See, it's triple. Here it's double Earth, triple Venus. And the divider of that is 6 and 8. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 equals to 6 and 8, divides the house planet by 7. That's the 7. It goes each side of the 7, and the payout is 7 to 6. You place 6, and you win 7. So it becomes the gold, and it becomes the silver. Now, since noted that Mars is numeric value 51, so I take 5, put it through 1. And when I do that, and I look at it at Roman numerals, I end up with 6. Since Earth is numeric value 52, okay, and I can also squeeze the in-between closed off inside the house here with that line. So that's 52 and 1 in between. Or what would happen? Would Earth be a long line and a short line? How would I end up completing this equation? The other way to complete this equation is to go around the center over here, creating 11, 11 in this area. And using this 11, 11, I will create within inside of it 9 and 9. 9 areas of 9. Actually, it's 4 times because I have to turn it, right? Turn it 4 times. But it's not only 4 times, it's 4 times, 3 times this way plus 1 is 4. Then you turn it again, then you turn it again. So it's 4, 4, 4. There's a total of 12. And now there's combinations. I can turn it 1 and 2. I can turn it 1 and 2 and 3. 1 to 2, 1 to 3. That's 1. That's 2 of them. 2 to 1, 2 to 3. That's 4, 3 to 1, 3 to 2. And that's a total of 6 for that corner. The opposite side does the same thing. Why do I say the opposite side? I cannot go from 3 to 5 or 6 or 4. I cannot jump more than 1. And the next one is complete opposite, 180 degrees. So when we remove these two numbers, first of all, I just want to also tell you that the beginning of pi is right over here, 3.1415. The total is 29, and the total again is 6 and 5, and that's the beginning of pi. And this will create 6 and 5, or Yoelev. We'll speak about that another time. Wow, its first equation added to its next equation is 34. But anyways, so what happens over here? So this creates pi. So these two will equal to the same thing, and it's pi. And this is in the house of Beit at the 7th gate. Now what happens here is we now have 17, okay, equals to what is 7 and 8. And we have 26, which equals to 12 and 8. They become 88. The heavens at the gate of 1. And that's how the numbers move in the alphabet, and that's how the letters would move on your telephone. I'm trying to see. Yes, so we're down to here where 7 wins the gold, and that would be Earth, and place would be Mars. Mars would end up to be number 22, and Earth for Jesus Christ would be 33 in creation of the sun. And just because I saw somebody show up here, if you ask me the question why I write all this, because Earth numeric value is 52. Mars numeric value is 51. In Roman numerals, although it's L1, okay, and L11, in here I'm putting V1, okay, over here, and V11, telling me 31, and telling me, telling me about 40 for the gold, and telling me about 2231 for the silver, because Mars is number 51. This is a Roman numeral 5 and 1, 6, 22nd letter, and the 9th letter equaling to 31. Here's 9 and 9, 18. Again, number 36 comes into the understanding of this. Now, if you showed up late, it's hard to go back on everything of how I got to this situation. Knowing that Mars would be a point and Earth would be a line. The fabrication of the understanding, okay, of Earth and Mars is because of the numeric value of the word alone, Mars. Mars is number 51. If I wanted to go into Chaldean and see the number to Mars, I'm hoping, I thank God I got it here. Chaldean, the number to Mars in Chaldean, M-A-R-S. The number to Mars is 4, 1, 2. Look at that. RJ and I come into 1 and 2 position in this refabricated house, and the S is on number 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 that comes all together. So we can we say 4.123? Well, if we're talking money, we'll do 41 and 23, and we'll talk money. If we're talking about calculating in decimals, if we're talking about another part of a different way of counting numbers, is you put a comma between 3. Here we're set up in sections of 3. The rotation I was talking yesterday switched over at 3. Let's see if I can find this. Yeah, it's over here. First we have A, B, C. You know what? Okay, I'm going to continue with this and finish my telephone thing after. First you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So this is the rotation, okay, of our number system that we're using. Although roulette is a little bit different, this is the rotation of our number system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So since we're working in rows of 3, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So it all goes into 3 areas. And then when you end it, okay, this one over here will be 24th letter. The Y and Z will go on A and B, which is 51, will end up on A and B. The thing about this is that removing them from the alphabet, the total alphabet count I think I got it wrong yesterday, is 351. When you remove it, it's 300. And now we set ourselves up into the game of bowling, into that design I was showing you before. And also, all these special numbers, they're always calculable, usually by 3. 351 divided by 3 equals to 117. 7 come 11 is this cube. Every single side, like Rubik, 9. The opposite side, 9. That's 18, you see. But if I take away 1, okay, and then I take away 6 from 18, I get 11. And 6 and 1 is 7 to create that 11. And that's your 351. So we come down here, we see the way the numbers are. And what happens is when we're counting 1, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and boom, 4 is on the next row. And then the next row, and then the next row. So are we talking about 3 triangles? Is that what we can be talking about, 3 triangles? Or how about 3 triangles around each other? Although I do not have all the complete equations. Just give me a second. You go from A over to B. You go from A. Okay, just let me read this. Okay, I'm going to be able to finish this in a minute. Okay, it's all very okay. Let me see this. Hydrogen, hydrogen. Well, General Electric, and right away, okay, G and E connects to the moon. It's also a direct. If you want to use DC as a direct current. The word electric is number 75. Again, it also relates to 3/4, which is CD. So if you're saying CD and not DC, maybe you're not saying direct current, but indirect current or altered current, as in AC/DC, to alter the current to give you the situation and understanding of the story using the same words in an altered way. So instead of CD, where it's 75, it's now DC/CD. Talking about now the AC/DC. So now we'd have to listen to that music to see what's going on inside the music. Give me a second. I'm going to get something to drink. I'm going to finish with that design. Okay, and I have to write that down. Have to write everything down. You can't cut and paste. Can't cut and paste. I've got 500 books written. Or scribbled, or whatever you want to call it. The only letter I do not like to make in capital, okay, is the G. I don't like to do that. The G is, you go like this, and you go in, and then back and down. So you're actually drawing in G. You're drawing the L, like G and L together, like gel, or backwards, it's leg. I have a leg up on you. Now leg is in a race, the second leg of the race. So all these things that go along with the word leg into that element. So now you say it's 1 electron. And you know 1. I mean, imagine if you were the 1 in the corner, or the 1 on the side, or the 1 in the middle. How would you know you were 1? If you didn't enclose yourself into anything. You don't know what's further on. But anyways, 1 for me is a division. It's something that either chops it, it's nothing, or 1. You ever check this out? I take a ball and I roll the ball. So when I'm doing this, I end up so I roll it, it becomes a hot dog. If I flatten it, it becomes a hamburger. The hot dog and the hamburger. You can put the hot dog right through the hamburger, spin the hamburger around the hot dog, call 1 the pole. Now, hot dog equals to 43, dog equals to 26, equals to 69 total. So you're now going in rotation of something, and we call it rotation of the sun. It's because there's two rotations, the moon and the sun, right? This also equation is ironic. It'll create 7 and 8. This equation will create 7 and 8, G and H. So when you're creating G and H, you're also talking about the king and the queen. But before we go too far, let me finish with my last equation before I spread this too thin. So we went from A to B. Now B crosses over this path over here, igniting A and D, okay, going over to C. Now, once it gets over to C, it now splits up and C goes over to A, and then back down to D. From to B, B does not go over to D. Does D go back up into A, splitting back into C and B, back to C, back to D, or is D now transmitted to going back up to B? There's no dot in this one. There's a dot in here, there's a dot in here, there's a dot in here, there's no dot in here. So is the equation going to end up going back up over here and never going back this way? Because I have one of my equations where it goes A, B, C, C, D, B, or is it C, D, A, and then running over here like this. And now when we create this, you can see the number 4 inside of it. Although C is going back to A, and it doesn't really need to, and I'm talking about it through this. See this dot over here? There's a dot here, a dot here, and a dot here. A, C, and E have a dot each. So you have to understand that if A, C, E have a dot, because the first, the third, and the fifth letter, ACE, we also note that it is the sun. So can they all power into each other, or is it an obligation to go from a dot to no dot over to a dot to no dot, back up in between this transmission over here? Now, I don't know if it's pushing out here, 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 and here. I don't know what's going on. And I don't even know if we can call this the hydrogen or the electron or whatever it is. So anyways, this is that basic, what was I talking about? I was at the beginning, I just said A over to B, B over to C, and C goes to A and D. But when C goes to D, my understanding, if we drag everything along, right, is that 1 and 2 becomes 3. Over here, now 3 goes over to 3. 3 and 3 go over to D, which is now 6, right? But it's addition to 4, and it shows back over here as 10. If you used all of these in a number, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals to 10. And that might just be your one singular, whatever you want to call it. I didn't do the calculation for hydrogen. I think I finished with the telephone explanation, right? Where 88 comes together. And when 88 comes together, it's the words like Pegasus, which, by the way, is an NGC 7286, which is the house of Bategate. This constellation, very important, that has to be looked at. This one over here. See the way I write my C looking like an E? So this is this equation. This equation ends up to be 15 and 20, or T and the letter O coming together. I'm just QZ. Well, you know, HQZ, like headquarters, but the invert to 88 is 66. Well, not me. I just work off the information that I'm guided with. I'm guided with the information, and here is a 6, and I flip it over, and here's an 8. So if I show you a 358, I'm going to show you here's where the gateway comes in, because what's creating the gateway is 4 and 2, 6. And if you want to find Mars, you'll find the queen, you'll find the game, you'll find the card. You will also find Okay, what is the creation gate within the queen because of the 7 voided areas, and the 3 areas in the center. And when you flip it over, Mars 51 shows up. So my work comes out of what's already been done. I'm just breaking it down. So now I'm going to read more of the comments from K-Toy, Keys to Wisdom. Let me go to the next one back up here. Because if I go over every single thing, now I have to understand where a little bit more about helium. I have to just understand the word. He starts with an H. It's a capital MH come together. And I do want to say something that, yes, the bloodlines, the A and B and all the letters, yes, they're telling for sure stories. Electro, electron, tron. What is tron? Mercury and Venus equals pre-matter. So pre, I was thinking of this before, 16 and 1834. So it's direct current. It's DC, which will create AI through its mathematics. It's also fabricated through AC to begin with. The reason for that is 4 and 3, 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 is what will create it, in which 3 is through the female, in which 3 or 33 is through the female. It's 66 and 66. 6 and 6 equals to 12, and 6 and 6 equals to 12. 1 and 2 equals to 3. 1 and 2 equals to 3. So you end up with 33. The invert of that 3 is 6 plus 6 equals to 12. 1 plus 2 equals to 3. If you're using 1, it'll be 5 plus 5 equals to 10. 1 plus 0 equals to what is 1. So now you have the bar mitzvah. And its creation of the bar mitzvah is 10 and 12 equaling to 22. Ape. The reverse 22 to the 22 dot is 77, and that's matter. It's also Christ. It also creates what I call the student yo. And I call it the student yo because when they're throwing the dice, they go yo 11. And 11 in French is student. But when you're calling yo 11, they're actually saying 11. And number 11 has a value of 63. You have 911, which is K for 11, and you have I for 9. So you have K, 11, and I for 9. When they're coming to create the multiplication of 49 and 14. So in the fourth finger, okay, and in the ninth finger comes your birth to Mars. Your fourth finger and your ninth finger on your left hand. So if you're on your left hand, you're coming from blue, you're coming from boy, you're coming from number 34, cold. If you're on the right hand, you are going to be red. They will call you the devil. But they also have the blue devil, right? There's the devil blue also. 40, 27, 9, 31, 40, 52, which is also earth, jack, heart, numeric value. It's a separation of the gateway. Another 17. 5 by 2, 5 plus 2 equals to a total of 17. This is the extremity of the other 17 that we had at number 18, which equals to 8 and 9, 17. Now we have 7, 8, 9, 10, in which 8 and 9 live inside the gate, H and I. Now, if we're going to go to some artwork, what's going to happen is when we're going to do it this way. When we have the passage through the electrons and the gateway through 5 and 7, 57, 75, we're going to connect to link up 5 and 7 with the numeric value, or these squares called 66. And within these squares of 66, we'll now find the heavens, because 6 and 8 come together, as we noted. 5 and 3, 8 to what is 2 and 4, 6. So when we do that, we create the 8 right over here between the house of 66. So we say, where is our birth? Well, our birth is not far off, because if this is number 5, 1 and 4, 5, to flip it around to 3 and 6, 9. So the number 5 is over here. So number 9 is over here. This is where number 9 goes, right over here. 7, 8, 9. 8 will connect 7, and 9. Here is number 9. Here is number 7. And you can see number 8 connects that along with 66 over here. And this is where you get your window. This is your window to Mars. So here's number 9. And when you go further down, the next one over here is going to be 11. And then the next one over here where man comes in is going to be number 13. And if I travel, let me just, this one was, let me just finish this off. Okay, right. If I travel the rest of the way, over here is 1, then over here is 3, over here is 5, over here is 7. Here, okay, is going to be 4. Here is going to be number 2. So 2 goes in the row of 11 and 1 goes in the row of 13. And this is your first half of the alphabet, 1 through 7. It's a right angle. Just let me get something to drink. I hope I didn't lose any spaces. There's just so much going on. So much going on. So yeah, Mars gets number 10 in its own through Chaldean. And what's funny is the spirit of 76 creates this. 7 times 6, 42. 7 plus 6, 13. Total is 55. Liberty 1, Mars. So let me get something to drink here. Just 1 second. You have to try this pearl tea. You ever try pearl tea? Pearl tea, check it out. Looks like it came from my rabbit or something. Okay, let's go. So helium-2, this is too exciting. Jupiter with the 79 electrons was always gold, but now they claim to change it. So now we have a silver and gold with Earth and Mars coming together. Okay, it doesn't matter about, it's what you primarily know. Gen is a god. 755, 575, again, back through the moon again. And time. And male and female, king and queen. Oxy god, oxygen. Oxy is both 66. It's number 39 for angels, and a bunch of other things of number 39. It creates 27, which is connecting the house of Bait, and 12 coming together. The Y. Why did I say that? 27 and 12. 9. Oh, yes, for number 39. 9 times 3, 9 plus 3. Right. And your polarity, this is what I was talking about before. Your polarity between C and D is the reverse W and X. So where was I with this? Yes. Okay. Hold on a second. 9 times 3, 9 plus 3 also stands for angels and 10 is part of what Mars is. T-E-N. So when you have E-N at the end of a word, the electronic, something to do with electronic sun, the T we have to understand is different from the other ones. The T is the point of the pyramid. The T and the G come as the point. They are inverted to each other. Number 27 is your complete reverse alphabet of A1 and Z26. Now, the thing is, there's an empty spot at the end. Is there a reason for that empty spot? Should we be creating 26, 26, 26, equaling to 78, 3 times the alphabet, and then 4 times the alphabet? 3 by 26 is 78, and then 1 by 26 equals 26 equals to 104, or Earth 52, 52 equaling to 104, or 95 in Neptune. And the reason I say that is because I'm calculating also to a single digit and to a single word. What it means adding to a single word is, let's say I have the word Earth, E-A-R-T-H. So I would go E5, A1, R18, but I would add it up as 1 and 8. So check it out. T is 20, I added it to 2, and H is 8. So we're going to go E5, 6, R is 9, is 15, T 17, and then 8, 25. So Earth becomes 25 inverted in its own. They don't all do that. They don't all do that. What if I use the word help? I'm just going to I just want to see this word here. Help. 7, 3, 5, 8, 13, 14, 15, 16. So help is 23 and 31. No, help. Hold on a second. 8, 13, 7, 10, 23. Hold on. 8, 5, 3, and 7. 10, 23. Okay. 8 and 5 is 13. Plus 12 is 25. And 16 is 41. Right. So help is a little bit different. And it's funny that I use that word because it comes out to 1, 2, 3, 4 again. So help is 23 and 41, unlike Earth, which is 25 and 52. So 9 by 3 is 27, and 9 plus 3 equals to the 12. This will be equal back to 3 and 9, but the equations will create different within themselves. Here we did Mars. Let me look at the rest of 79 electrons. Oh, yes. And in 79, it creates 16 and 63. So the 36 will now relate to your 360 degrees. The sun, the 16 is going to now create your half-life. The spirit is 76. The other thing I wanted to just mention, wow, we got away from the hot and the cold, the blue. Yes, the Democrat and demolition. And Republican, repossession. Republic. Republic red, Democrat blue, blue devil, red devil. You go to the left, you're blue. You go to the right because left is the marriage. So you married Mars. You went to the left, you went into cold blue, and you're living in red hot. 43 and 34 equals to 77. I don't remember where I exactly was. Yes. So your birth creation into the 13, and that's going to connect to our moon. Why is it male and female? Because the male on the 169th moon and the female on the 156th moon, because they have a bar mitzvah and a bat mitzvah. When this is over, you become man and woman in the 13th and the 14th year. In the first teen and in the second teen. And this splits your alphabet between 13 and 14. It splits between birth and the gateway. This 4 and this 5, these between birth and the gateway. It splits at 34, and there's another at 34 and at 34 and 5. Okay, it splits at 4 and 5. So now we're in the year 2023. Okay, and there's a split on 24. But hold on a second. I'm going to try and explain this properly. The 12 and the 13, man already had to make it the teen in order for this. That man had to be created through the third cube. There's only 6 sides. Here, through the 13th moon, this is where man can become created through the sun. Man created in the sun. The female is only 12. So it only happens until 14, because falling into the 14th year, but until that year ends, starting for 2 years, always for 2 years. So now you have to go 14 and 15, and that's where the beginning of pi is, as we discussed in the previous in this video. So 13 and 14, 23 and 24. Let me go 13 and 14. The reverse alphabet here is 4 and 3, and that is your DC, to where here it's exactly in the center. These would be its extremities of its creation. Do you follow me? This is the reverse alphabet of 23, 24, where 3 and 4 split, where 3 and 4 split. We're not going to count these numbers over here. They equate. And also, if you look 23 to 13, you would end up with what? The next one at 33 is the next level. The next one is 34 at the next level. 6 and 7. And this is where Earth and Mars come in. Now, if we want to, let me just see if I want to bring it to 5 and 4, this equation, that would be inside the sun. I want to see where else this takes me. The reverse would be 22 and 23 equals to 45. Let's go Fox. I like to use 54 as the sun fox. It's created through what is n. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 is what will create this complete equation. I'm just trying to see where else it takes me. 45, we also have VW, which is life of a fox, which equals to 45. XO, 6666, life of a fox, cunning fox, the wolf will blow my house down, the 3 little pigs. This 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals to 4 equals to 5. The total is 9. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 equals to 3 equals to 4 equals to 7. It is the male king, 41, and the female queen, number 62, equals 103, which is also Mercury, and September. And September, okay, is also talking about number 7. Whoops, sorry, I moved my camera in the wrong place. It also talks about number 7 in French, sept or scepter, talking about king. Now the king happens at 13 male, and the queen is at number 2. This will create 7 and 5. Now you're back to the electric moon. At the same time, it's bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah, bar and bat. Bat is B in location. T is also the second pyramid. T to the first pyramid, what is G? Hexagon begins, dividing of the 2 pyramids. This is also the word go and ape. I'm just trying to see what else there is inside it. We have 9 and 7. We talked about the telephone, how the letters were moved on the telephone. That comes into this situation. This would also be inside the sun. This would be part of the moon. So the female stays in the moon. So we're going to talk bat, and the male stays in the sun. So let me read a little bit more of what's going on here. Just give me 2 minutes to slow down, and there's so many things going on. Three circles, and we have that design in the center. I'm not sure if I put this together right, but I mean, and then we can expand outside of that, right? I can put now this one over here, right? Whoop. I can now hook that one to that one, right? So I can I put 6 around here? right? Leaving enough area space so you can put the next one in. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, look what happens. Look what happens when I put this one and this one. This one can connect to both of them. And then if I take another one here, see, this one can connect here. So right away you have, see the way I connect. First of all, the first one will be an 8, 8, 8, right? And now when you connect this one, you have 1 8, you have 3 8s and 3 8s from the other side, creating the 1 8 in the center. 8, 8, 8, 88. But hold on a second. Hold on a second. Maybe I can, let me see if I can get this. I want to do just a little piece on this. See if we can. See, it's not that way. I think, anyways. So now what we have here is we have 1 8, then we have 2 8s, then we have 3 8s. That's 3 8s. 4 8s, 5 8s. Now we have 6 8s. Now we have 7 8s. Let me see this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I have 9 8s here. I'm not really sure. Hard to figure out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I count 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. Here and here is 1. Here and here is 1. Here and here is 1 is 3. Here and here is 4. Here and here is 5. Here and here is 6. Here and here is 7. But here to here is 8. Here to here is 9. And here to here is 10. I think, anyways, I'm not sure if it's 10 or what it is. But, oh, and I had more. But those are the major touchings. Now we have to finish off the skeleton. You think these cut out on their own? I have to find a way to cut them out a little bit better. Okay, let me read the rest of these comments. Just give me just 1 minute. Just give me 1 second. Whoop, my computer shut. I was looking for something before I something. Okay, where am I? Okay, I lost the stream for a minute. So where was I with this? What's missing? What didn't we complete? Yes, I'm going to look at the Mercury and Venus. Let me see the pre-matter. 34, 39 equals to the word pre. Matter is 77, 106, 10, and 6. Half-life. Gen is God. So backwards, it's negative. Oxy-God, oxygen, oxy-God, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, nitro, God, nitrogen, nitro, God. Tro can mean also too much. Intro, right? Introduction, meaning putting on something more. The IT system comes together, which is that birth in the sun, so that you're talking about male. Rho in French is gold. RT is now talking about the club, or when RNT come together, it's 38 from 5416, half-life. 2 letters. Every letter gets 27. So I calculate their total value between R and T, and it's 38. The inverted value is P16, or H and H. 88, divided heavens. God, oxygen, 2 hydrogens trapped with every oxygen. The flood of the earth was hydrogen ejected from the sun, and then it mixed with the earth, oxygen flood. Well, however, water is made, right? And they're saying H2O, right? Okay, I don't know how science works, but okay, snake. Okay, hydra, snake, hydro. Hydro, I know it as electric. Hydro dams. So now the electric went into the back. They're taking. I want to back up the word hydro dam, dam beaver. Above and below. What is below? Dro is O is Mars, ending in gold. Gold. We'll talk about 38, which is the division of 3 parts. D in the center of the word. We're going to stem this from Mars. So HY on one side, RO, so it's 6 on one side and 33 on the other side. So it's, wow, it's 6 and 6 on both sides of D, 646. It's a DC current. It's a direct current. And the reason for that is R and O is total of a 33 letter count of 54. So that's 21. It comes right from this cube. Now Y is 25 and 8 is 33. And its invert is the same thing, 21. Again, talking about the cube. 21 and 33, it's perfect. The sun and the moon in rotation of this cube. Wow, very good. I like that because they're talking about this a lot now. Right. It had to, so we have to understand that word, okay? SUI, side. You know, if you put an R at the end, right, it would be red. You can't say duo. So SUI. Let me just write this down. SUI. So if I were to put an N in the place of the I, because to note that N, E, and W, which is the 14th, the 5th, and the 23rd letter, remember that. When we talked about 14 and 23 as being 55 before, it's in the 5th house. And the invert of that is the house of what is 99 and 18. So our creative gate, 3 times 6, 3 plus 6, or that 360 degrees that makes everything seems to be sort of in their own realm, perfect, right? New, 3 letters, okay, in the alphabet or on this cube, only go into 2 nines and not all the nines. And that 9 is 9 and 18. So we're talking about one face or 2 opposite faces, because there's 18 to a 9 face. So we can be talking about a 9 here and then the 18 here, showing one face up. Let me look at this. Right. One face up, one face down, and 2 opposite sides, or 2 opposite sides. So we only have 2 letters to what is 3 letters. So the total of the 2 letters in the IR family is 27. And the total of this family is 37 plus 5 equals to 42. I did it a little bit different. as it's a single digit, I just wanted to do it a little bit different. I didn't do it different here. I just wanted to separate one. So it's 42, and this is where your gateway comes in through 5. Your gateway to the house of bait, 8 and 6, into that dividing gate, because the spirit realms inside this 7. Here's your 7. 7 empty spaces, 7 void, and that's where that 1 resides, inside that 7. And this cube also, 1 center, there's nothing center, so 6 and 1 equals to 7. Where 2 and 5, because they match up, 5 and 2 equals to 5, and 4 and 3 equals to 5. 7, 5, 5. That's the cube. Yes, suicide. Let me suicider. Suicider. So that would be 19 and 21 and 9 and 3 and 9 and 27. 49, 52 and 36 equals to 88. So let's do it again. 19 plus 21 plus 9 plus 3 plus 9 plus 4 plus 5. 49, 52, 61, 70. Add the R equals to 88. That 70 is once where PQRS 16, 17, 18, and 19 equals to 70, but they removed Q for the ATM and they made it number 53, which will end up being 11. 7 come 11, 5 by 3, 15, 5 plus 3, 8 equals to 23. 2 times 3, 6, 2 plus 3, 5 equals 11. And now we can start our process. And the end process of this 11 will be 29. And then that calculation will be 18, 11, or 9 and 2 coming together. But there's a process here which will create 8 and 9, and a process here which will start the process all over again. This process will relate back into itself and will create 72 and 17, and where this one will give me the gateway in Mars, and this one into the sun, birth inside the sun, 5 and 9 coming together into the sun cube. And this one will revert back to the gateway and then back to Mars. Okay, let me finish reading this, and we're going to have to take a little bit of a break. So I have to understand what the neutrons are doing to each other. I really have to understand all of this. I have to understand how our blood mixes with the air. We have to understand our heart, our blood system, our lungs. Let's call ourselves Pluto. Pluto and the word sun, 4884. Check it out. Pluto, 84, 16, 12, 21, 20, and 15. 9, 9, 18, 18, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 63. 63 and 21 equals to 84. The 35 and 53. I didn't get that right. Sorry. 55 and 49 come together. Why? These two here are not the same as these three over here. These don't get the same color according to games. They're different. 8 and 4. 8, 4, 9, 13. 1 and 3 is 4. Comes back together. The reason I separated this is I added up to a single digit. P is actually 7, L is 3, U is 3, T is 2, O is 6, 10, 15 equals to 21. 21 and 63 equals to 84. This is for how many times into the next level or dimension it is. 3 by 6, 3 plus 6 is what creates that dimension in numbers to the cubic house. Seventh gate, 1, 2, 3, 73. Nibiru. So we have this word, we have 88, so we know where the gate is. The gate lies in Pegasus. It also lies something to do with Venus. What did I not do? What did I not do is I didn't read everything. So let me see where I am reading this. The 9 planet. Okay, the sun worlds. The 9 planets. The sun would be fluorine. The Pluto makes a big difference. That Pluto makes a big difference. At 9 planets, the sun would be fluorine. Mercury is A or B. Venus is A or B. Earth is C and is hydrogen. 1 moon, 1 electron. Mars, 2 moons, 2 electrons. Helium. Regular hydrogen, no neutrons because it was neutral. Tritium, hydrogen is 2 neutrons, but it means 3, the word. The word is 3, and it sounds like titanium, which is very strong, the bond. The proton and ton means 2,000. The electron, 2,001 ton. To understand the ton, if there's only 1 ton, if you're talking about 2 tons, you'll talk about Mars. If you talk about 1 ton, you'll talk about Earth or Mercury if you want, because the difference between understanding 1 and 2. Triton, helium, He, 13, dies, 1 cube, dies meaning 2 cubes or more than 2 cubes to become helium-3 with the Earth to Mars bridge, helium-3. And this is where the rotation of DC, when 3 and 1 start coming together in 2 and 2, each one creating 4 and 4. 2 times 2, 2 plus 2 creates that, as well as 8 times 8, 8 plus 8 will create that same effect of 8. TH, you see the TH dies and only the H is left over. So when you count the word 8, is tritinium gone? I'm just trying to understand that. And again, you said dies. Now we have your numerology workbook. Is that a good? Well, whatever you're starting is good, and whatever you're ending is good, because an ending is a start of something. You have to go somewhere. You're doing something. You know you're doing it. Good evening. Well, here it's not evening. Here it's afternoon. If you need to ask me any questions, no problem. I am not the final. I am not the final. What's it called? Together, we only can do this together. I'm still ranting off over 18 years of untwisting and understanding where language comes into play. Where if I say it in French and I say it in English, it's doing something different to the sound of my alphabet. It has another sound, and if I count in French or I count in English, again, it changes the sound. Yeah. As well as the last number in French would be 69, because they don't say, they repeat with 70. They say 4 times 10, 4 plus 10. Just give me 1 second. I have just something to do here. I have a message I have to respond to. Okay, where am I? 13 and 14, Sun, Earth, Mars, Tritium, Helium. Same atom. Alive on Earth, half dead on Mars. The word dead as EA, which is arts and entertainment. It is the 1 and 5 expressing Mars, 4 on the outside expressing area, space, and teen space. So we have to go teen. Is teen tiny? Is it talking about tiny minds, tiny space? Tiny space can mean enclosed, meaning on the inside and not on the outside. Okay, terrestrial helium, T and H, fourth. T and H begins on the number 4, fourth, all the way to 20th, but you add in an IETH in 20th instead of 19th. When you just add on the TH and not the IE, which is the 5 and 9, like EIEIO, onto the farm, working 9 to 5. The next one is here. Okay, so terrestrial helium, would that mean, okay, I'd have to really understand that. But if it has any value at all, it's going to have some value somewhere as just a pressure point. Okay, I'd have to understand all these bases. Okay, because oxygen is a hydrogen chat. Okay, so that would mean, it's a question, would that mean that oxygen is trapped in hydrogen? Why is there no because hydrogen is trapped in oxygen? Is that why? Soon as hydrogen is free, it gets grabbed by, hold on. As soon as hydrogen is free, it gets grabbed by hydrogen or by oxygen. Okay. Okay, hi. Is that a clover? Are those clovers? I can't see. Are they clovers? Clovers? Clubs? Club number 38. Number 38, also known as number 13. Also known as 10, 11, 12, 13, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this finger is more than what you think it is. This is the end of the line and the beginning of the line. 11, 22 from 8 I come. 11, 11, 11. Why? Why? 5 fingers and 3 fingers create 8. My 2 feet is 10 toes plus 5 plus 3. So how I get to that realm. Helium escapes Earth. Okay, now they're talking about a discrepancy in the H2O to how about HDO? What about that? Have you ever heard about this? I think it's a hard water or something. Not really sure about exactly what it is. Let me see the next one. Earth is a prison system for hydrogen. Our single moon is a single electron of all 3 forms. I totally agree with you. In fact, it's not really that it's a single moon. Like I set up before, that when the moons can be trapped somewhere. So now we can put that together like that. And we almost can see the Star of David in between. So I'm not sure where the moons are trapped or how the system is set up. But they gave us all the pieces in the puzzle. Hockey is one of those setups because hockey has 3 periods. And 3 is the base before the mirror recreation. 3 is your base. And then there's the 60 minutes and the 60 seconds and the 2-minute penalty, which is 120 seconds. And if you add up 1 through 15, it equals to 120. And pool, the game of pool, has 15 balls. Or we can do it that way with 6 holes. And there are certain letters you cannot draw. If you had to go to all the dots in the corners, you can draw N and N in the game of pool. You cannot draw the M in the game of pool. If you were using corners, you can do the V. You cannot do the A. Can you do the B? If you want to do the B or any other letters, you would have to make a round because you have to come back to the pocket on the same side. So now you're talking about round and you're talking about line, and anything round will turn into a dot, and the dot round will now turn into Mars. And now we have the rainbow, explaining where the rainbow possibly can come from. Inside this, I see us die. Very good. I like that. Wow, I see us die. So die equaling to one die, equaling to one possibly cube. Noted that the one cube, the one moon. Now we know the one die is we are 21. And that means the other die has to be, two other dies are 42. And how do we connect that all together? How many more dies? And the total of that, 42 and 21, is 63. And that is the same total of 7 times 7, 7 plus 7. Here's one die, and here's two dies. 1 and 2 dies, that would be 3, 21 dots. And 33 by 1 and 33 by 2 equals to 33 equals to 66. How do we create this? How do we create 6? Oh, yes, 3 and 3 equals to 6, while 6 and 6 equals to 3. 6 and 6 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3, 3 and 3 is 6. So they all run into each other. This is the dividing gate. The next one of 21, 21 plus 63 equals to 84, and that's 3 by 28, and that's the cycle of man and the moon. Man equals to 28, cycle of the moon is 28. It takes 4 cubes of 21 to create it. The 4th cube is the mirror world. The 3 cubes create 11. So it seems like they minused something from us. Coming through Mars -1. I just have to think of that situation. But let me continue on. I'm getting a little tired, so I just want to finish up with the questions. Yeah, that's why everything's about the big C right now, eh, Mr. C? Helium. I need to go back here. I'd have to go back and see where you said that helium, because we're no longer breathing, we leave. Stop breathing, you're gone. It's like a spirit connect to get here. Oxygen is built to trap 2 hydrogen atoms, and so now I would relate that to Mars. So like when we die, we go back to Mars. Humans as 75% water contain way more protons and electrons than what? Equals neutrons. Proton, electron equals neutron is the way I'm going to understand it. 75% connecting with the moon. The propensity to sin is hydrogen in the water. Oh, that's me. So is it better? Because they say our water now is not H2O. Our water now, they say, is this water here that I wrote down. That's what it is. Do you see my mouse going on top of that? And protium, so everything is IUM, IUM, IUM. So I have to, like anatomy, right? And IUM, I have to medium. So I have to go to the word medium, and I have to understand these endings, where else they're used to get a better understanding. 934. I can see UMI is an exact invert, because the M is 4, the U is 3, the I is 9. So when 3 and 4 come together, they are inverted at 180 degrees. Your 9 is telling you about all sides, and also your R is telling you about one side divided. Your I is telling you about both Earth and Mars, and I also reflects the hexagon, because It has a point and it has a flat side. That's where I use the I. The I creates everything. The I is in all creation. Number 9, all creation. And 99 is Jupiter 13. So it's all creation. But is it all creation in the house or out of the house or at the outhouse? Heavy water is a product of nuclear fission here. Okay, so that's how they make brick, because apparently I heard this a while ago, and okay, and it just sounded too perfect, that the water we drink is not the numeric value that they're giving it. Somehow they altered the scales to be able to say that word, but we can't accept it. I think the time, if we want to revolt, I think if we want to have a big revolt right now, it's to start mentally and stop calling things the way they are. It's no longer H2O. We cannot accept it. And by not accepting that in yourself, in the air you breathe, okay, this entire place does not exist. It only exists through us and through our eyes and our association, through its creation. But when we stop accepting things, they stop coming to you. You push them away. And the computer, the base that we're in, will start to push itself as we eliminate. And what are we eliminating? 75% of our thoughts, of everything that all exists. If it's water, then we must not accept water as H2O, but know and understand exactly what HDO is. HDO, which is 8, 4, and 15. 846 or 864. And 864, 864000 is the sun diameter. 864, the seconds in a day. Three times 8640 dot 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 equals the sun. Okay, which sun diameter times 3 equals 25,920. Okay, let me get to this. So that's why when we communicate properly with each other, we will actually break down some elements in between our knowledge, and all the way back to wherever it is, it eliminates from this world, freeing everybody else's mind. So it's only going to take a few and all and many to break things loose. And then 3 times 8640 equals to the long Mayan count, in which if you add up 2 and 5, right, it becomes 7920. Or 5.5 times 1440, the minutes in a day becomes the Earth diameter. I'm with you. I'm with you. Keys to wisdom. I guess your name suits you because I'm with you. Anyways, I'm not sure who's here. I've been here for an hour and 45 minutes. We're going to end it. If you want to take a look of what's going on. And then this is from the game of roulette, this one over here. Inside of games, and pending how you connect the area space, it's going to tell you a different story. The formation of numbers that we were given. Now, if we can relate this back to the alphabet, if we can take our alphabet and end at 26 and put A into the last position, in where it becomes AZ and AB. I'm not going to get into that for discussion. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, okay. So wow, yes, you're running up. It's funny because you're running up the hydro poles, and you have the KO punch, and I spoke all about that, right? The hydro pole, the flag pole, which way the wind blows, the way an airplane takes off, not with the wind, but into the wind. There's so many things going on. It's all hydroelectric. Monopoly even says it. Hydroelectric waterworks, hydroelectric waterworks. Roll the dice, get paid that amount. Own both of them. Roll 2 dice, get paid 10 times that amount. On Monopoly, go equals to 22 and ape equals to 22. They're all calling for monkeys when you play blackjack, right, which is 21. And they're all calling for monkeys, and monkey is a 10 and ape is 22. So it just all fits together. If there's any more questions, I'm going to come back later. If somebody wants me to open up, my email. If somebody wants to help out the channel, no problem. Here's the email. And the Mighty Messer, if you want to chat any other way, hook up. Take care. Thank you for watching.